In this video, demonstrators A and J will show the fundamentals of trying to defend against a rear naked choke, aka the Modelio, aka the Lion Killer. It's believed that this choke can choke out anyone, no matter their size. Before anyone should attempt to try any chokes, the first thing everyone needs to do is to practice the tap. Tapping is very important in any sort of submission grappling or in any sort of combat sport. Tapping lets the other person know that you do not want to continue, or that whatever submission attempt they were trying to do was indeed successful. In this case, it's the choke. The choke that is being demonstrated really should only take about a second to take into effect. If it takes any longer, most likely it's not being done correctly. A's arm will wrap around J's neck and crush his carotid arteries. The arteries are on the sides of the neck. It is not the trachea or the windpipe. Do not crush your training partner's trachea or windpipe. Your attacking training partner's bicep will be on one side of your artery, and then the forearm will be on the other artery. When the carotid arteries are crushed, blood flow is constricted so that it does not flow to your brain, and because blood carries oxygen to your brain, that causes you to knock out. That is my understanding. I'm not a medical doctor, but that is my understanding of how I was trained, of how these strangulations, sometimes known as chokes, works. Now demonstrators A and J will try to show what it looks like to attempt a backdoor escape. A backdoor escape is where instead of facing whoever your attacker is, you step back and try to get out through the choking arm. Let's have a closer look at what was going on in slow-mo. The moment A reaches over J's neck, J instinctively shrugs his shoulders, sinks his neck down in order to hide his neck. Afterwards, J proceeds to try to backdoor exit. The goal of the backdoor exit is to get to a better position. The attacker, who was from behind earlier, had a better advantage, but now your goal is to get behind the attacker. The first goal is to get your arm around the back, and then the legs, and then the head. Once your entire body is behind, now you are the one attacking, or you have the option to push and get away. When A's arm reaches around, J instinctively sinks down and uses his entire body weight to grab the arm and sink his body weight. A has to resist J's use of body weight. As this is done, J grabs A's back in order to start the process of getting to the back door. It's very important that J steps behind A every single time before J attempts to stick his head out. Once the leg is behind, he can use that leg in order to help pull his head out from the choking arm and finally try to chase A to get behind him and to get a better position. Now that we've seen what it looks like to try to do a backdoor exit, let's see what it looks like to try to just turn, face the opponent, and attempt to go through. J attempts a semi-backdoor exit but is facing A instead. It's a little bit more difficult, as you can see. In this scenario, J starts the process of going for a backdoor exit but instead gets stuck and tries to face A instead and go for some kind of double leg takedown. A senses it. If your attacker is pushing your head down already, you already are in a bad spot. If your attacker is putting your head down, do not attempt any takedown. J attempts to start the process of going to the back door. A senses it and immediately turns to face J. J still continues to try and go through the choking arm, grabs the leg, not to take down A, but as a means to control A. He does not want A to go around him. However, it is much easier to just push off and disengage than attempt to out-wrestle someone who is probably larger than you. Let's break down the mechanics of how this backdoor escape works. First line of defense, shrug your shoulders. In order to get some space, you're going to use two hands, grip down, and you're going to turn down with all your body weight. When you try to do a backdoor escape, he's probably going to try to headlock you, as you can see. When you're headlocked, it's also difficult to try to stand up or to try to get up again also, so you're kind of stuck there actually. Once you're able to use your two hands and body weight to twist free a little bit to give your neck some space, you're just going to hold on with one hand and then use your other hand, your forearm, to press against the attacker's hips to make a little bit of space so you can get your head out of there. Some additional tricks that can help actually to get your head out of there is once you frame, you actually step out with your other leg and you use your body weight to help you make space. So you can use your body weight and twist and lift at the same time in order to get your head out. It's very difficult for one arm to fight someone's entire body weight. Another thing to keep in mind is your leg positioning. When Jay's leg is behind A's leg, Jay is at an advantage. However, when Jay puts his leg in front of A has the advantage. A can press down and off balance Jay. Remember, the bottom line is that you want to get to a more advantageous position. When you step that leg around, use that arm as a buffer zone. Keep that forearm there. You need that forearm to keep the attacker in place. Your hips are very important in order to forcefully make that hole. Once you make that hole, you can get your head out, you can get your body out, and you can push off as needed. Alright everyone, try it for yourself. Go train, go 20% resistance and aggression, and remember, watching is not the same as practicing. Stay safe and stay tuned.